Hey JMU fans, I'm Matt O'Toole here with senior forward on the Duke soccer team, Pat Ennis. JMU will play its final home game of the three-game home stretch this afternoon against the Villanova Wildcats on Parents Weekend. With their loss last night to Radford, the Dukes have now lost 10 straight, something they haven't done in over a decade. Now, what would you say is the greatest accomplishment you've had here as part of the JMU football team? JMU trailed 3-1 before taking the final 3 points, defeating the Liberty Flames 4-3 and ending their 10-game winning streak. What have you noticed has been the biggest difference, especially being a linebacker in such a vital part of the 4-3 defense? Located at the corner of Port and Neff, it's a $30 million project scheduled to be finished in July of 2012. And statistically wise, 48% of their rushing attack comes from freshmen, and all of their rushing touchdowns, 4 so far this season, have come from the freshmen. Senior guard Kirby Burkholder used a career day to lead the Dukes, scoring a career-high 26 points, including a perfect 10 for 10 from the charity stripe. It's senior day here at Bridgeforth Stadium as the JMU Dukes host the Rhode Island Rams, looking to snap their 2-game skid. Tonight at 7 p.m. over at the JMU Soccer Complex. For JMView, I'm Matt O'Toole. For the first time in 3 seasons, the JMU Diamond Dukes will have a new look behind the dish. With standout Jake Lowry moving on to the Cleveland Indians organization, JMU turns to junior Bradley Shaban, who asked for the opportunity at a needed position.
No, I'm not really trying to fill in Jake's shoes. I'm just trying to help where I can. Jake's obviously had a career year last year, set plenty of records. It's my first time catching my whole life. I'm just trying to do the best I can and help this team. So.
As Shaban learns the new position, he stays in touch with Lowry and knows it's a lot more difficult than his old position at second base.
Probably the biggest thing was just always blocking the ball up. I mean, it doesn't matter how you get it done, just getting it done and working hard day in and day out. He just told me how much of a grind it is.
With DJ Brown out for the season with an arm injury, preseason All-American Sean Tierney will look to lead a deep pitching staff that has experience and firepower.
We got a lot of great arms, young arms coming in this year that came in this year, and I think that they're going to produce, and I think that we had a young arm, Howerton, who went down last year that could have helped us a lot, and he's back, and I just think that overall we have more depth than we did last year and a greater number of pitchers. JMU is predicted to win the CAA for the 4th consecutive season, which will be held here at Eagle Field, and the Dukes have an opportunity to win it in front of the home crowd. For JMU Today, I'm Matt O'Toole. Very few people will be able to say they have accomplished more than senior shortstop Ashley Burnham. In fact, when her career comes to an end next month, the shortstop will go down in the record books as the leader in home runs, RBIs, and total bases in JMU softball history.
To be honest, I really don't ever think about it, and I really just try to focus on just hitting the ball solid every time. I think when you start having thoughts like that, it becomes more of a distraction than anything else.
While Burnham has always been known to be very humble about her accomplishments, she's always stepped up and taken a leadership approach both on and off the field.
Just an incredible person, great player. Her leadership skills have really developed over the last couple of years. Just a phenomenal athlete and an extraordinary competitor. She's probably going to walk out of here with a lot of records, and she's earned them. She's really earned them through a lot of hard work and determination.
Coach Katie Flynn has been at the program from the beginning in 2001 and says Burnham will go down as one of the greatest.
Well, she's by far the best player that we've ever had. Has Hall of Fame qualifications. I suspect 5 years from down the road or however many years it is, her name's going to get called, and very much so, deservedly so.
Softball didn't always come easy to Burnham. When she got to JMU, she said she struggled, and she looked to the seniors for some advice.
I think it's just important to stay grounded and know that there's always probably going to be someone that's better than you, and it's just got to keep working hard and stay focused on what's important, and that's winning. Burnham says when she comes back in 5 years to watch the Dukes, all of her records will be broken. Just goes to show you how humble the Boston native actually is. Reporting from Veterans Memorial Park for JMU Today, I'm Matt O'Toole. Good afternoon, Duke fans. I'm Matt O'Toole with your Dukes News. The JMU women's basketball team needed overtime on Sunday to defeat Wake Forest 84-76 in the second round of the women's NIT. Senior guard Kirby Burkholder used a career day to lead the Dukes, scoring a career-high 26 points, including a perfect 10 for 10 from the charity stripe. JMU moves on to the third round, where they will face the South Florida Bulls Friday night at 7 p.m. at the Convocation Center.
The JMU football team ended its home schedule this past weekend, defeating Rhode Island 31-13. Daquan Scott was a force on the ground, tallying 127 yards on 13 carries and 2 scores. JMU compiled 340 yards of offense, with 241 of them coming on the ground. The Dukes improved to 6-4 on the season and will need a win next weekend at UMass to be in play for a berth for the FCS playoffs.
Games with a record of 5-2 at the time, 3-1 the CAA, but it was a rough road trip, 2 road trips for the Dukes, and now they've got their backs against the wall, Matt.
Yeah, coming out of that bye week, the big game against Old Dominion in New Hampshire, JMU didn't execute well in the second half in either of those games. 0 points, which has them here today against Rhode Island fighting for their playoff lives. They have to win the next 2 games to even be in the playoff discussion, and it'll start this afternoon.
Yep.
A lot of turnover this season. They lost 12 seniors from last season, so a lot of opportunities for some freshmen to play. They start 5 freshmen on the offensive side and 3 on the defensive side, and statistically wise, 48% of their rushing attack comes from freshmen, and all of their rushing touchdowns, 4 so far this season, have come from the freshmen. The last 2 times Villanova's been down here at Bridgeforth, or rather the last 2 meetings, they've won. Mickey knows that they're capable of winning games. This is not they're not as bad as their record shows at 1-5. So JMU, they got to bring it every week. This is the CAA. You don't show up one week, you never know what happens. In JMU, this is their last home game of the 3-game stretch. Really want to end on a good note before they head into their bye week.